And I think the most important thing we have to communicate with our partners is setting realistic expectations.
Definitely. Right from the beginning, having a plan, setting expectations, and understanding how we're going to get there.
You're now entering the Pit Stop Podcast with OEM Interactive, helping you sell more parts and accessories online in 10 minutes or less.
All right, we are back again with another edition of In the Pit Stop, OEM Interactive. Aaron Waters here, and I am joined again by Miss Ashley Robertson, our head of customer success here at OEM Interactive. Ashley, how you doing?
Thank you. Excellent.
Yes, excellent. Love to hear it. Ashley, you're on the front lines, day in, day out, with our partners, talking to them daily. One of the most frequently asked questions that you hear is, how can we increase profitability? How can we increase that bottom line number?
Yep.
Everybody's, focused on that bottom line number,
yep.
Right?
The GM's focused on it. That makes parts managers focused on it. We're incredibly sensitive to it. Mm-hmm. Just knowing that really our customers get some of the best ROI in the industry. So yes.
I think the most important thing that we have to communicate with our partners is setting realistic expectations.
Definitely. Right from the beginning, having a plan, setting expectations, and understanding how we're going to get there.
Yeah. And once again, everybody's definition of success is different.
Right.
Right. And, some people just want that incremental $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in revenue.
Right.
And, cause that's what they can handle.
Yep.
And then others want, $1 million a month.
Exactly.
Right.
And they want to get there fast.
Fast. Right. And, so the biggest thing is setting those realistic long-term goals.
Yes.
You talked about being fast.
Yes.
But, marketing isn't a sprint. It's a marathon.
Right. That's right. It's a marathon.
And so we have to set those long-term realistic goals.
Yeah. Some of the things that really play into that are setting, based on your goals, setting a realistic budget, doing a competitive analysis of the market. What is the market doing right now? Where should your pricing matrix be?
Yep.
So that you can compete with some of the big box retailers. Keep in mind, you're out there with eBay, with Amazon, and competing with other dealerships. And that doesn't mean you have to have the lowest price out there, but you certainly want to be competitive enough to where you're getting people's eyeballs.
Yeah, absolutely. And, doing your homework,
exactly.
Understanding. And, if you're working with a digital marketing company, or a marketing company, you talked about budget and where's that budget being allocated, and understanding, where are we going to place those media dollars,
right,
or those advertising dollars,
right?
And we're going to put them on these platforms. We're going to measure ROI on all those different platforms. And some months we may use this as a strategy. Other months we may use
changing
this.
up the tools. Yep. Yeah, and it changes for brand even, depending on how competitive your brand is. The strategy for a BMW store and a Toyota store and a Lexus store, it might not be all the same.
That's a really, really, really good point, because every brand is different. Every brand has different consumers, right? And Kia is not going to be the same strategy as BMW or
right.
Mercedes or Porsche or Audi.
Right.
There's a different customer base there.
Right.
Different customer demographic. They are playing in different ponds and reacting to different media messages.
Right.
Differently than as opposed to the Porsche consumer or the Audi consumer.
Exactly.
Right? So,
and with knowing your customer, we can sort of come around and tie that into training your parts staff to understand upsell opportunities.
Yeah.
Because that's going to help make you more profitable.
Absolutely. And that upsell opportunity really gets back to being actively engaged.
Exactly.
Right. And you want to talk about being profitable and focusing on the bottom line. Don't be an order taker. And, being in the sales world years ago, they always talked about the guys who stood next to the fax machine.
Right.
And I'm showing my age.
But people want personal interaction.
They would sit there and be order takers and wait for the order to come in. Right. Then rather than talking to their customers and getting on the phone and engaging with them.
Exactly.
And really trying to find unique opportunities to upsell them on, more products.
Sure. And building that relationship so that later on they have that trust with you. They're more likely to call you back. They're more likely to remember your web store name. It all plays into why you want to have that personal interaction.
Yeah.
And then, tying into that, just offering something different than just the typical what every other competitor's offering. So, you have an OEM catalog. How can you box items to offer, bundle deals or different clearance items, open box sales, these kinds of things. So you have to just be thinking about that.
Absolutely. And creating those incentives for them, as well as communicating to your marketing partners what your incentives are and what your kickbacks are, right? So if we as the marketing partner, we only see we see maybe sometimes like 90% of it, right? And we don't know in some cases what your incentives are.
Sure, or if you've got a big incentive to sell floor mats, we need to know about that so we can push them, and you can get that kickback at the end of the quarter, and that all plays into your profitability.
Yeah, and so the more communication and us understanding those types of incentives that you're having within the month, or knowing that here's your promotional calendar for those incentives throughout the course of the year, then we can actually put that plan together, ensure that you're hitting your back end goals,
right?
Your kickbacks, your co-op bucks. That's huge, and those are the types of things that are going to affect your profitability and your bottom line that we can work with you on a daily, weekly, monthly basis.
Yep.
Right. So, and just to recap here, we've got, things to, that will directly affect your bottom line on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Upsell opportunities, be actively engaged, with your customers, bundled deals. What are the incentives? And
communicate with your marketing partner.
And understanding, creating that definition of success, and, what are setting those realistic long-term goals. Brands weren't built in a day. You didn't just open up the front end of the dealership and, one day and
you want to see month over month growth.
Open the doors and all these, all these cars are going off the lot.
Right.
It takes time, and, ensuring that we've got a plan, a long-term plan for growth, and we're doing whatever we can to hit those goals, and also not being afraid to pivot.
Yep.
And adjust. So if we're exceeding those goals, well then, let's set the bar higher.
Right. And, definitely.
And if we're not hitting those goals, okay, well maybe we've got to readjust.
Right.
And our goals need to be at this level, and what do we got to do to get here and here and here? So, I think these are all great, and you guys need to try to implement these things, take these things to heart, and be actively engaged. The game has changed, and it's continuing to change. And if you're not out there just, evolving and not taking a pivot every once in a while,
right?
And because consumers are everywhere, and you really have to be changing with that environment. Be a chameleon.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and the internet is changing rapidly, so you have to be on the front lines. Yeah,
it's going from one marketplace to this social network to here to there. So be actively engaged. But Ashley, thank you.
Yeah, thank you
again, as always, and thanks again for joining us with another edition of In the Pit Stop. See you next time.